Well, welcome to May of 2018. If you don't recognize the scenery, this was actually the sunrise shot seen before back in January. But now it's later in the day and the sun's up and the mountains are still there. We've had a lot of cold weather lately and a lot of snow around surrounding mountains. However, not on this one yet. Carr Canyon is normally to close around the 15th of December. We'll let you know at the end of this tape if that really happens or not. And this is our city pool here. It's called the Cove, also known as the Sierra Vista Aquatic Center. And right now they're closed until December 27 for deep cleaning and maintenance on this pool. But they'll be back open. So check it out, guys. It's a wonderful pool and available every day of the week except for December. Of course, by the time you guys see this, it'll already be open again. But anyways, we're filming this in early December, actually. We're going to have it all ready except for addendums to add at the last minute. And so this is another place right here where I've spent an awful lot of time this year. It's really a great natural amphitheater, but most times I've been here this year, they've had bands with Marshall amps and stacks and a whole lot of good stuff. So, if you've been watching the mid-month review or the television show Border County USA, you've seen a lot of me here, right? Right. It's really great to be here in June. That's always one of my favorite months of the year, and this year was no exception. Hello guys, this is John Sullivan from Sullivan's Projects, and welcome to the mid-month review. Where to start? First of all, new links. Every week I'm doing a new show. You'll see that link in the comments below. It's called Border County USA. I had a really good co-star for a couple weeks, but it just turned out that we just had different schedules. We couldn't be there at the same time for things that we wanted to do. So I decided to tell her, girl, you know we love you. If you want to do your own show on your schedule, call me up, we'll do that. She's just been so busy with things in life herself. It wasn't really fair to her to take her off the track to do this stuff with Border County USA, but she was really great. Went down and saw my baby niece Desiree, graduated 8th grade up in Phoenix, and went and saw that. Went and saw the funeral of a very good friend's husband, and Norvis knows I love her to death. We'll always be there for her. A lot of that stuff you can see in the Cochise County, USA. Went down and saw my baby Angel Jazz and her brother Chris and Aunt Evelyn and Mom Nogales, Ernestine, or Ern we call her. She's just awesome. Her whole family's awesome. Really praying for Evelyn's mother right now. What else is going on? A new book. The one I had planned to come out this spring, the Liberty Space Lines. I didn't have writer's block, but something came up. I decided to go off track with that one and do a new one based on the life story of Jesus Christ, of all things. And it's a fantastic book, you guys. Since I plagiarized 75% of it out of the Bible, I'll have to give 100% of it the charity to me back to the source. That it was really a really new way of telling the story of Jesus in a 21st century way, and I don't think you've ever seen it told like this. It's all true. It's just a little bit out of order, and it flows better than the Bible does. So please pick that up. I really enjoy that. That was probably my best work yet. Really, please support that TV show. It comes out on YouTube Sunday night at 7 o'clock on this channel below, and I think you're really going to like that. But because we're doing so much work there, the mid-month review is not ending, but it's really scaling back to a shorter version. And I know some of you people will really be happy about that. I'm going inpatient very soon for a couple of days for further treatment. And God bless you guys. See you next month. And welcome to July. You're looking at the mountains above Fort Huachuca. And down here we can see my lovely Carr Canyon, which, as you know, I do a lot of filming on, feature a lot. Down to the left, you can barely see a little bit of snow on the top, but it's kind of an optical illusion. That mountain in the center is not the highest peak. Actually, the highest peak is that one, Miller Peak, but it's actually further away. Ash Canyon and everything is down there. And here I am. I've already driven almost 1,100 miles out of Sierra Vista. Started yesterday morning. I went up through parts of Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, and I'm just about ready to leave Kansas tomorrow. And I really did enjoy this time in Kansas this time. We're coming up on where I grew up at down in Neodesha, Kansas. Neodesha is a little town that has really not much changed since I lived there from 1966 to 1979. And so I'll just show you around to some of the houses I used to live in growing up, and just point out some things when we're down there. Basically, the landscape of Kansas begins to radically change from flatlands and fields to more of trees and valleys and creeks and ponds and stuff like that in southeastern Kansas, where I grew up. So this is kind of a introduction. One thing very famous there was these tall microwave towers that I guess are probably used for self coverage now too. They're always like red, white, red, and they have lights at night so you can always see them blinking. So you can see some of those towers are still there. It's really good to be back. I'm definitely gonna get a good night's rest tonight because I'm just so tired. I rested for about 4 hours in western Kansas last night, but I still haven't slept since about 3 o'clock Kansas time, 5 o'clock mine yesterday morning. So we're gonna just have a safe introduction to Neodesha, and we'll take you next to Kentucky. God bless. First of all, Shauna just gave me an amazing haircut. I don't think I've ever had one this good in quite a while. Believe me, so thank you, Shauna. We're gonna put a link to her Facebook page down there, so anytime you're driving through Neodesha, call her up and set up an appointment. There are a couple things that changed since last time I was here. This Casey's has arrived since I left in '79. This is the other end of town, the eastern end of town. And also there was a really nice bridge here that had one of those arches, like double Roman arches over it, and I think they took this one down first. That's Norman number 1, overrated. It was the first oil well west of the Mississippi, but nobody ever says if it ever struck oil or not. So, but that's something that's kind of the touristy thing here to do. This is the Verdigris River. It's actually a river, unlike the San Pedro most days. And so now we're heading up on 75, going back toward the airport. And from there we're going to come back into Neodesha the back way. So this is actually, look, we've kind of turned to the northeast at this point. And then we're going to make another turn to the north. So it's kind of like State Road 92 is, where right outside of town makes these double turns that are like 45-degree angles. So I'm going to see a lot of people here that I'm not going to recognize because they've changed so much, but Shauna looks really, really great right now. And she's a really talented artist. So that's actually the Verdigris River watershed you're looking at with those trees there. And they kind of meet south of town, which is how this, I think it's an Osage name. Neodesha is Indian for Twin Rivers. So that's the fall on one side and the Verdigris on the other side. Verdigris is actually in the second tree bank out there. So now we're making that turn to the north, and it's going to a little place called Altoona. Now we're going to make our turn here to the airport, where I've landed and taken off from many, many times. That used to be the old Homestead Hotel we're looking at here to the right. As looks like it's been bought out, renamed, and repackaged. And here's the old airport. Many, many, many takeoffs and landings out of here. Have you closed your flight plan? That propane tank looks new. There used to be a telephone booth somewhere right around in here. That's the runway. Generally goes east-west, and somebody left their plane out in the rain. So that hangar set right there really hasn't changed much. Just a little bit of corrosion. I don't know what that is, a light or a security camera or something. Somebody apparently took off low of the fence. So that's the airport. Up here we have something called Bethel Road. And I'll take you to one of the, was it the last one? Yeah, the last place I lived here in Neodesha first, and it's called Oak Hill Road. And it's just east of the north end corner of Neodesha. I gotta show you this silo set that Tom Gentry, it's Jennifer and Rhonda's father, had built and engineered with MEC Corporation. So right now we're about a mile out of town, and basically, as far as I'm concerned, the Neodesha metro area ends up here at this turn, and everything else out here, like the Bill Goody farm out to the east of here, is all rural. And I still have an old map from like the 1960s that has what Neodesha looked like at that time. It was all gridded out officially by surveyors, and guess what? We may have Google and stuff like that now, but it really hasn't changed a bit. So, no truck. Well, that's fine. There's a lot of blind curves, blind hills on here, so you know, you really got to watch what you're doing on this road for around here. So now we're heading back to the west. Really nice cloud bank up there. We used to have this green truck when I was like in my teens that we made a mistake of driving down into the bottom of this hill. It's kind of like Car Canyon in Arizona, but we got that darn truck stuck in the mud down there as soon as we hit the field itself. And so that's a day we'll never forget hearing from Dad about. But we got it out of there by a tow truck, I think. This is what I was talking about those blind hills. Dr. Chronister and his wife used to live out here. I don't know if they do anymore in this area. A lot of these houses are kind of new. This is called Oak Hill, and you'll see why later why we call it a hill. Yeah, all these houses that I see out here are new. And like I said, even if I knew the names, I probably wouldn't recognize them anymore because so many of us have changed so much. Right around in here, pretty close. Oh yeah, the Verdigris actually runs or there's a river anyway that runs behind this set of trees right here in these houses. The reason I know that is because we had a really nice party as a teen out here. It was a swim party at Pam Chronister's house. This would be it. This one here used to be Sonny and Martha Heffley's house and their kids, and they sold that, I think. Before that one was built, the Heffleys owned this one here, and after they moved over here, our family moved into this one over here. And so that's the one, that's the last house I lived in here, is this one right here. And it looks like it has a set of very happy occupants. I wonder how many of these people are still around. But that hill I was talking about that goes down into the field is on this road right over here somewhere. Unless they got smart and shut it down. Yeah, that used to be it. There was once a road right there. So as you can tell, out west everything is all flat, not too many trees. But over in this area, whole lot of trees. It's like going into the Bat Cave. Now I'm going to just, this was for sale. I'm going to flip around this, it's almost like the end of Ramsey Canyon Road here. At the preserve, but you can flip around here. And we had a fire out there in that field one time, and it almost threatened all these houses over here. But we won't tell you how that got started. But it wasn't our family. But we got it out before anything burned down. It's really, really green this time of year, but that's because, like it does in Sonoita or Cochise County, when you get a lot of rain, you get a lot of green, and so they've had a lot of rain here. So that's Oak Hill, so we're going to take you from here back to Neodesha. And like I said, this was the last house I lived in here, was on Oak Hill Road. It's actually grown quite a bit on this side. None of this was here before when I was out here, but that was the old house right there. Now we're going to take you down, there's really, really nice yards out here. Now we're going to take you down to the river. My check engine light just came back on. No, it's my gas light. Boy, that sure went fast. Gotta get me some gas as soon as I get back into town, or it's gonna be a real interesting walk over there. All right, this is actually Oak Hill. Why they call it that is you go down this hill here. It takes you back into Neodesha. And this is the field I was talking about earlier. I can't tell Milo from corn anymore, but all right, the Verdigris River is actually over here as well. You can see it snakes around from here. So all I've ever caught in this one was just a bunch of carp. This is a nice little road that takes you up toward Fredonia right here. I used to ride that one on my bike, so that's how I know these things. It's like a 14-mile bike ride. That's the actual river itself. See that? I know a guy, I won't mention his name, who flew off this bridge and ended up in this field down here with his car, but somehow he's still alive. Yeah, his car was like, ended up down there. What a ride. That never happened twice. All right, now we're kind of doing this S-turn thing to get back into Neodesha. My friend lives right over here somewhere. They just retired from the police department, so we'll go try to find him sometime. That's that antenna you saw from the other side where my parents are buried, and my brother. It says T, but it really means S because that's what it is. But they built some buildings out that way since then, so let's go get some gas. And that's that water tower in the front. We're looking straight south now toward downtown Neodesha. So we're going to take this one called Fur here, and this will take you back to hopefully where I can get the gas station. They had to pull out the old swimming pool and put a new one in since I left. I really love that old swimming pool. I understand they had some kind of a valve leak or something, or it cracked and all the water left or something. I don't know what happened, but they had to replace it, and they did. Since I've left in 1979, they've also replaced the high school in entirety. Maybe one of the gym buildings is still here. But Cobalt Boats, yep. That's where Janie, not Janie, I'm sorry, Martha Heffley worked for so long. That's that's a boat manufacturer that is stationed right there. They've been around forever, and the family does really great with that, from what I hear. Senior living facility right here. That one was there when I was here. So was another one down by the old hospital. They have a new hospital here now on the very southern end of town. There's a Cobalt boat right there for you. Pretty sure. I wouldn't know, to be honest with you. I haven't been following. The old Jiffy Mart, I think, was over here. It's now just a store, and this is where I think I can get some gas. $2.69, not really too bad. So we're looking to the south here on 8th Street. That's looking to the west, and that's looking to the east on a major cross street called Granby. Let's get some gas here. Alright, what I'm going to do now is just take you guys past some of my other houses I used to live in down here. First, I'm going to kind of go in reverse order completely. I took you to the most recent one. Then I'm going to take you to the one where I lived most of my time here in Neodesha, and that would be right next to the Methodist Church. And like where I live now, where my own church does bells, they had the most awesome bells out of the Methodist Church there. And so that was really nice to move just a block away once again to a church that does really, really cool bells. I don't know if they do it anymore, but every day at noon they used to fire off the air alert nuclear attacks, sirens just to test them. And so you always knew when it was noon or a nuclear bomb was coming, whenever you heard that. The football field and all that area still looks pretty much the same. The high school is completely replaced and all that. They actually have a middle school here now. I did not know that. These houses, like I said, they've changed paint jobs or don't have paint on them anymore, but it's all pretty much the same as when I grew up. For rent, for sale. I wonder what it's going for. This isn't the church that I went to my whole time here. It's called St. Ignatius Catholic Church, and Father Schott is a very, very famous person. That rectory hall over there is new, but when my dad died and had his funeral here, that was already here. Father Baca. I think they have a new priest. So the rectory was here. But yeah, that's the same stained glass windows and stuff as the old days. That actually goes down into a basement where I've actually seen rats in the toilet. And this is a new building, Parish Hall, and the rectory is actually on the other side. So, or it's gone. It's gone. Okay. Well, I guess he's in a room there. Now we're going back on this next street over. We actually had a lot of friends that live back here. As you can see, there's a lot of pecan trees and other kind of trees that are just here in town. Some fern trees that I really liked. Have you ever seen the ones that drop the little helicopters? They have those things here, and they're really fun to watch when those leaves fall off. They're like helicopter blades, but they'll just spin around in the air, and I guess that's how they get a wider dispersal. Remember that one well. Somebody in Arizona used to be in that one, as well as her kids. A lot of these houses really haven't changed a bit, like I said, except for owners. So, yep, that was the same. There's one I really liked. I hope I see it. It has a really cool design. They still have squirrels running around the streets here, getting themselves killed. The elementary school where I went was just built. Going kindergarten. So that's the kindergarten building, that little circular thing there, and that's the gym, and the rest of it, I think all looks the same. Yep. This is the old Parrish house. A good friend of mine, Andy Parrish, used to live here, and that is a really, really cool design. That's what I was talking about. Now we're getting down to closer to where I used to live, and in those days you could walk around at night on the sidewalks safely, like you still can in Sierra Vista. let me just say that's the Methodist church, and you can ride your bike to school every day, even as young as first grade, and there's no danger like there is in the bigger cities now with these creeps. Remember this house very well too. The old sheriff used to live here. I'm sorry, police chief before Daddy. Yeah, so all these people, all I can really remember now is the neighbors that they were. This is the house I spent most of my time in right here. So we built that garage while we were here. One of the two sheds is new. That's the house. It was really, really awesome, guys. I love living there. My mom and dad's bedroom was right there. That was the living room, the family room, bathroom up and down in the den, and my bedroom was that one, and that was the family room. And we built this this wood deck, I'm sorry, brick deck out of here. So really good neighbors here, Knickerbockers, Moores, all that kind of stuff. So really, really just a fun town to live in. And what I like about Sierra Vista so much is that it kind of still has the same safety. The church bells I was talking about. Still ringing. So you kind of got to wonder where all these people here are now. So now let me take you down this street again, and we'll show you the house I lived in right before that. See what I mean? Just a great place to raise family, just like Sierra Vista is. So that's the house we lived in before then. Right there. I lived in that bedroom right there. And next we take you back to Main Street. And like I said, Bisbee reminds me so much of these old towns like this where I grew up, because these buildings were all kind of built by the same contractor back in the 1800s. And they're still here. Another one of those awesome designs for a house. I think that was the Moore house there, Dr. Moore. Andy Parrish's father was the pastor of a church right here. And it also used to say radiation shelter on it. So if there's a bomb coming, just go to the basement. Obviously since removed, but same name. Another good friend of mine used to live right over here in one of these houses. So now we're south of Main Street. And I'm not going to show you the whole town. What I'm going to do now is take you to down Main Street to one called Tank. Then we're going to show you the last house I used to live in. And it's kind of a drive because, like I said, that was the farm that had the the little tiny field my dad was so proud of that he put his plane down in one time. I have no idea how he got something that landed in a field like that back into the air again without clipping the fence, but he did it. Yeah, my dad was a great guy. We lost him back in 2008. We came here and buried him, and we've only been back one time, or me anyway. And we're heading west on Main now, again, the opposite way we came in. The only street light in town, I think, is right here, still. But I just went in and talked to a lady that works at Dollar Tree here, and so many of these businesses have closed, and especially the Aerosol. So the Twin Rivers Motel, I wonder if they even have rooms available. I'm probably just going to end up going down to, I don't know, I'll check it out. Doesn't look like anybody's there though. Twin Rivers Industrial Park, that's the area where Aerosol exploded, but it was north of here. Did I miss Tank? I think I did. Maybe not. The old MEC building was around this area here. Yep, still says MEC. So, we're at Sonic now, so I don't think we missed it. But we'll see. I'm not Google Maps, you know. Yeah, we missed it. We'll take this one though. Oh, I'm sorry. Water Plant Road's what they call this now. It goes up to Tank. Tank is east-west. I used to ride my bike down this one as well. The power substation used to be here, probably still is, kind of showing its age. But they have a new one up over here. Been a lot of times on a bike on this road. You can hear the summer sounds, can't you? Thanks, FedEx. I'll remember that one. Alright, so this runs parallel to the railroad tracks that still obviously run north and south of town. It's either Union Pacific or SPNF. I can't remember what it was, but they're still here. Standard Oil used to be out here in this area we're heading to, and they had a couple tanks exploded, so they closed down, and that was the majority of the economy here. So these tracks were built to get the oil out of here that was refined in the area west of town. But after that explosion, they all picked up and went down to San Antonio or somewhere in Texas, and so did the rest of town. But they say the population's finally growing again. So this was the town I grew up in. After this, I'm going to probably pretty much call it a day. And oh, that's those grain silos. Only one of them was here before. They put the second one in afterwards. That was Tank, so I'm talking about this road up here. This is called Little Bear Mound up here. There's actually a really cool rock quarry that we used to climb up to as kids, and I think they had it all roped off or fenced off later. We'll be coming up on the same road here. I remember the nice couple that used to live in this house down here, both now deceased. But it's just kind of funny when you just see this thing, you're reminded of somebody or someone. Now we get across the tracks again. May Perry, that was her name. All right, now we're heading out to, well, first I want to take you to that house. And like I said, I'm going to probably get out and just tell you some things about this house. Road closed. Isn't that sweet? That's no good. No, that's the road going out to the old Bowman house, I think. I'll tell you what, guys, this 400 thing has me so confused right now, it's not even funny. All right, we're going to turn around here. Look back to Hoke Hill. Coming into town, there's something called Hands Hill, which is an interesting slabs of really interesting limestone. And in these particular rocks, you can see fossils in them, and they're fossils of something called trilobites from way before we were here, and that means that those rocks were once on the bottom of the ocean. So all this, we're like 840 feet right now, but all this area here used to be at one time at the bottom of the Earth's ocean. so funny how that works. All right, let's try this one. I think this is the one I was supposed to take. Yep. Hey guys, I haven't been here in many years, so sometimes my Google Maps gets lost. But we're now, as you can see, going further and further out of town, and that field I'm talking about is actually on the other side of this tree line right here. It's not really big, but you'll be able to see the field itself as we make this turn up here. And this is the northern part of the field right here. And as you can see, it's not that big. I don't know how my dad pulled that off. So it's a triangular shaped field, and so you can see it's triangular there. Oh, it's so funny. So that's it. Airplane one into the other, takeoff and landing, and you can do it in this kind of grass. That's the first house right there. We moved down here in 1966, and remember it like it was yesterday. That's our old barn. Used to have a lot of hay in it. I learned I was so allergic to hay. So we had 4 kids in there by then. It was just too small to house us all, so we moved in town. But really just a wonderful little house. Still is. New door. Same old barn. We've seen so many snakes down there, it wasn't even funny. squirrels. The barn's still there. We used to actually have the barn door. The horses have gotten out since then. And that was the field I was talking about. Right there. I have no idea how you did that. So the rest, I mean, the architecture here really hasn't changed at all, except for the new door. So this was the first place. My dad actually grew up on a farm, so he knew how to do this, but he couldn't do that and be a banker at the same time. And having four kids, because the fourth was born down here, with many more to come. And my mom was a city girl anyway. So my brother and I used to sit under this tree right here and look up and see birds, and we thought they were like spoons flying in the air. So, that is John's time in Neodesha. We also owned this little house over here. It was built much before this one was, and there was a cast iron stove in here. And it's still there pretty much as it was, except for now it's got broken doors and stuff. But that was like somewhere else we could go to hang out. So just what a great life, you know. So, heading back into town, I want to show you something else. About all the oil tanks that used to be out here, those are the two that are left. And you just take that access and it'll wind you up to that rock quarry that was up there. There's a turnoff up here to where I want to take you to next. Let's see if we got a name now. Like I said, very little has changed since I was a kid out here. I used to do that when I was a kid out here. That was back in the 70s though. It's still the Neodesha Blue Streaks though, right? Yeah. I'm in Arizona now. Very cool. How you doing? Now you can see some of the similarities to why I really love Sierra Vista so much. Just such a safe place to be, great community, great place to raise your kids. The only thing that Sierra Vista has on this is the wonderful mountains and the much cooler air and drier air. Because this humidity down here is killing me. we still have mosquitoes and flies and lightning bugs down here, but I don't miss any of those really. So we're making our turn now to where we're going. And we're turning from heading east to heading south. And that's the cemetery where everybody's buried. Everybody that was in this town that is no longer here, almost all of them, are right here. And it just so happened that for some reason the Catholic Church had picked up their own plots over here. So that's why they call it St. Ignatius Cemetery. So these are all the people that I used to go to church with here. And we'll just take a quick spin through here and show you all of them. Protestants et al. Were all down here. Back then, I guess they didn't like the Catholics to intermingle, so they made us get our own. With all the, you know, all the Catholic imagery and traditions and that kind of stuff. First one I want to show you is my mom and dad. So let's just start in alphabetical order. This was my brother, who was born in 1961, died in 1972, and I was actually an altar boy at his funeral. There's a long story to tell you about him sometime. Then let's go with the next one that died. She was born in 1935 in Kentucky, died in 1979 down in San Antonio. We brought her back up here. Same church, same funeral, buried her, and that was back in 1979. 10 years ago this month, almost to the day, we lost my father. And Jay Leno was so cool to call him right before he died. And his name was Harry Sullivan, SP4, U.S. Army. I outranked him. Born with a twin who just died on New Year's Eve, February 24th, 1934, and died on July 27th, 2018. So, hi guys. And I really want to thank Janelle Downing and the other people who took such good care of all this. My dad's last wish was that me and my brother would dig the hole here for his urn. And by the time we got here, it had already been done. And my sister donated this plaque later on. So these are all the other Catholics that I used to go to church with that are now in this cemetery. So some of them actually died before, like but almost all of them. Ed Berrigan, yeah, I heard about him. Look at that. And we're coming up on New Albany, which I know well. It's right across the river from Louisville, and it actually is best known to me for the Popson family. That's where they grew up, and the rest of the family either stayed in Louisville or moved way out of town like the other states, or just went across the river. And we're about ready to jump off here and cross the bridge over to Louisville. And in 1 mile, I need to make my exit. There we go, just like it says on the sign. To Shively. A lot of these suburbs were actually annexed by Louisville, the greater Louisville metro area. So here's the famous bridge, and next thing you know, we'll be in Kentucky. This bridge hasn't changed a bit. Welcome to Kentucky. So, as soon as I get off this bridge, I'm going to be on a exit to 264 East. And I can see that beautiful, I think it's the Ohio River I'm going over right now. That's a river. Not a wash. All right. So in a quarter mile, I'm off this road finally, and I'll be on my next one, 264 East. Take exit 1. Muhammad Ali Boulevard. River Park Drive, 1 mile. Anyways, I'm on this one for 6.7 miles from here. Then I'll be getting off at Fort Knox. So onward we go. The only other time I came so close to dying in Louisville was my dad had, I shouldn't say this, but he had somehow overloaded his airplane with all these Christmas gifts from the visit out here to Kentucky during Christmas, and just barely cleared power lines in the Bonanza taking off out of this airport here. Barely. I'll say by inches. There's no opinion here, just a statement of fact, but the neighborhood that I used to go to visit Grandma and Grandpa is now predominantly black, or as they would probably say here, African American. But that's just how it is. Everybody, except for places like Sierra Vista, kind of has quote unquote, air quote, neighborhoods that are dominated by certain constituencies, races, whatever you want to call them, hoods, gangs, who knows. This guy's in a little trouble. Oh, it's Metro Police. So he's out giving tickets. He wasn't called out to the scene in Middletown. So just look for Fort Knox Drive, which is the only thing my dad did right in the Army was come out here to Fort Knox, where he met my mom. It's the only thing he did right. I guess he got in a lot of trouble. He never went overseas or anything. He was a specialist in the Army and served as a clerk because he was just so good at what he did as a banker. So he came over here and met my mom, dragged her out to Kansas, to Farmville. She always missed the city, so we come back here as often as we could. And there's my exit. Now, Dixie Highway I do remember well, because that's right off of there is where Aunt Dorothy lives. And supposedly we're going pretty close to all that because my brother just happened to see Aunt Dorothy in a convenience store this morning. So apparently it's all kind of close together. So here we go. That's going to be Miss Google Woman a lot harder than it sounds. And then all of us here in this lane have to also merge over to the left. Amazing. All right, it's that unknown road. Ain't that the truth? Watch me go. Man, these are the boonies of Kentucky. Now we know where Boone's Farm came from. And that would be that. Turn left, then turn right. Hunter's Village. All right. Then right on what? Tahia. God, I would never find this place with the map. Okay, my destination will be on the right. What was the address again? $2117.
Your destination is on the right.
All right, guys, 1874.2 miles from Sierra Vista. I am at my next home for the next 3 days.
Are we waiting on the motorcycle?
Yeah, I might have to do that again. The motorcycle killed it.
You're one of them Burr girls.
I am.
You are.
And you're a Sullivan.
I'm a John Sullivan. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Where you been?
I live in Colorado.
That's what I heard.
Yep.
Good. I'm like,
Are you sure you don't mind being in the road?
no.
Okay.
No, nobody comes down here anyway. It's like a no outlet.
There's not too many people that come down here, but the ones that do fly. So
Yep.
Yeah. So where?
So you're Natalie.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's been so long. I almost got Alzheimer's. It's been so long since I met you guys. So you're up there in the foothills, right?
Yep. Foothills of Colorado. Yep.
Where's that near?
I'm in
Centennial?
Littleton.
Oh,
I'm in
Littleton.
Littleton. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just west of Denver.
Yep. Southwest.
I was going to drive up that way on the way home to see Mary and Jeanette, but they're both so busy
Yeah.
with their own families. They couldn't even make it out here.
Yeah.
We tried.
Tim, and that's I was just checking on.
Did Denise get here?
No, that's I was just asking. And they're at T-Mobile. It's like, come on, just.
I got T-Mobile, and it's like iffy in this place.
Yeah.
All my apps keep dropping and stuff.
Oh, they're switching out their phone or switching out their service from consumer cellular, but it's like, okay, come on. I mean, she's got the potato salad. I could have bought this stuff. It's like, come on, Denise. But oh well.
Where's she living now?
She's just right over here.
Oh, she
10
lives
minutes away.
in town. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm the only one. Well, Norb is out of town. Norb is in Ohio.
And we lost Anita, so
Yeah.
she can't be here except for in spirit.
Yep. And then I'm the only one that's gone. Philip, Denise, and Joe are still in town.
Hello there, Sam.
Yeah. Well, just keep fighting.
Got any Barnetts here?
I saw Kathleen. That's the only one I saw.
Wow.
So yeah, that's where I was headed. I was just wanting
Okay.
to check on where the potato salad
All right.
was. But
We'll talk to you later then.
alrighty. Good to see you.
All right. I made it. I made it.
Welcome. Where'd you go?
I had to go get rent money, and I had to go drop by and say hi to Taylor. I had to do it. Had to do it. So we got ourselves a really cool picture. Which is what I came here for, other than this. We had a pretty good talk, but she was working. So we may go out and do something after she gets off work.
She works.
She works as a very highly paid waitress, just like that girl we saw this morning. She must clear $300 a month. I mean, $300 a day.
I was like a month.
No, it's like one of those places where Chris used to work down by the stadium.
Oh yeah.
It's busy. But I dragged her out. I said, let's go outside. And she did. We took a picture and talked for a while.
we looked at him and we just knew him.
I don't know.
I didn't really
I recognized Natalie.
He was in a kennel with like, what, 23 other dogs?
Other than that,
Rescued him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm still
About
figuring
3
it
or 4
out.
years old.
He left the house.
Had never been anywhere but in this kennel. Always late under things. Never barked.
Yeah. Hey, John.
hi there. Long time no see.
Yeah. I saw you on Facebook, and all of a sudden it was gone, and I thought,
No, I'm still on Facebook. I just changed accounts because I had like so many people follow me on that one. And if you follow, you're supposed to like look at all their stuff. And it just got to be. I spent the whole day just reading people's crap, you know, political crap and cute dogs and stuff. So I just went to another one, and I said, and I told her about it. I said, come on to this other one if you're real, and like 3 or 4 people did. But if you look at the Facebook I was on,
Yeah.
the last one, last 3, I'll say go to this other Facebook, but nobody did.
Well, eventually we'll probably find it.
Well, okay. So where's Phyllis at?
She's at home.
Oh, you didn't bring her?
No, she had another engagement to take care of, so she plans them, I think, every year on this thing.
Oh my God, I was looking forward to meeting her again.
Yeah, she had, I guess one of her girlfriends was from out of town from California came in.
Well, tell her I said hi.
I will.
John Sullivan from Arizona.
Yeah.
Came all the way here to see
Now, which
her.
part of Arizona are you in now, John?
Well, Tim is in Tucson, which is south of Phoenix. It's one of the big cities.
Yeah.
And I'm about an hour out in an army town called Fort Huachuca.
Okay.
The name of the town is actually Sierra Vista. And it's up in the mountains and no cactus and no desert. And it's just all beautiful up there. It's just...
But we were in, about 2 months ago, we were in Flagstaff.
yeah, that's way north. Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Flagstaff, and then we went from Flagstaff to up on into. I took her to the Grand Canyon.
I've never been there. Believe it
Oh,
or not.
really?
As far as I've been is Flagstaff, then up through the Navajo Reservation, up to see Mary. Other than that, I'm kind of a... I like to fly over that stuff, and I don't like to drive through it because
Yeah.
what a tourist trap that is.
Yeah, we spent a couple hours at the Grand Canyon, and then we went around it and on up into Utah. To,
Yeah, and that's beautiful
we
country
went
up there.
to Zion National Park.
Isn't that great?
It was nice.
Every time I lived in San Diego and I was on my way to see somebody in Colorado, I always have to drive the I-15 and go through there, and it's just absolutely... Well,
And she's about an hour north.
yeah, it's about an hour.
And I
Well,
tried to-
out there, that's close.
I tried to call her one day, and she didn't answer the phone. Called the next day, and we were getting ready to leave. So
I gotta give you her cell phone because she never answers her home phone. She just puts it to a
Boys, that's what I kept on
Yeah.
getting was her voicemail. So
yeah, and she never even looks at it. As a matter of fact, I'm stunned it's not full. So I'll get you her cell number because she would love to hear from you. I'm serious.
Okay, yeah. Well, finally, I think Phyllis finally got a hold of Jeanette.
Yeah.
And Jeanette gave me her cell phone.
Yeah.
And so finally, the next day, I finally got a hold of her and talked to her. I talked to her for half hour, 45 minutes, something like that.
She's so busy. She works 16 hours a day trying to pay 3 kids through college.
Yeah, well, and I understand her one son is down at WKU.
Yep.
So
And he went down to Florida for an intern during the summer, but he's back up here somewhere. If he graduated, I guess he's hanging around here somewhere. I asked Mary yesterday where he is now. Just, Dorothy was asking, but she hadn't got back with me yet. But I'll get you her cell phone. She would love to hear from you.
yeah,
She's always just like kind of like living that isolated survivalist life up there in where she lives now. And she needs to get a hold of family more often, and so she wants to do that. So yeah, she would love to hear from you. She kind of all the stuff she does is her husband's side of the family, and you know he doesn't want to come to any of her stuff. So you know how that goes.
yeah. We spent 17 days on the road. We finished up all 50 states.
Well, I started in, this time I drove out here. I came from Arizona through New Mexico, through Oklahoma, through Texas, through Kansas, through Missouri, through Illinois, Indiana, and here I am. I'm just going straight back, going back. But I saw all my friends and stuff in Kansas.
You go back?
I'm gonna, no, I'm not, I'm trying to avoid 40. I'm gonna try to get a little bit further south and just take 2 landers down to probably Dallas, and then there, it may turn into 40, but I really got to get down on the 10 because I literally live right on the border.
Oh, really on 10?
I really live right on the border.
There's only one stretch of 10 that I haven't done, and that was from Jacksonville to Mobile. Rest of 10 I've done. That's all right.
You don't want to do that strip.
So I've done. My daughter lives right off of 10 in Houston.
Okay.
So,
Is she an astronaut?
No, she's a physician's assistant. She's
Okay.
PA at Indiana.
So she probably knows the astronauts.
Probably.
Yeah, I get him out to Tucson to
John?
interview. Oh yeah.
John.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another John.
Hi.
John and John.
Yeah. The other John. We were looking for him last night.
Yeah, I was.
That's like my brother Larry, my other brother Larry.
I was an hour and a half from all the storms.
You know what?
We spent all day didn't have a rain.
Me and Dorothy were waiting up. Me and Dorothy were waiting here for the storm to clear, so we both left at the same time.
Yeah.
And 2 minutes later, as soon as we hit the road, they all came back. I missed that tornado yesterday by a half mile.
Yeah.
The one up in Middletown.
It was, yeah, I was about an hour and a half southwest of here, and we didn't have any rain until I left, and then they really stormed on them. But
yeah,
we drove almost all the way home. We did West Point's about 15 minutes from here when it first got our first rain dry.
Well, if it wasn't for seven years stationed in Florida and that GPS, that little Google Maps thing that talks to you, I would have never found my way back, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, you know, that's great. I mean, that's what that's how I navigate. It's on my phone or on my computer or laptop.
So it's pretty rare when Mama gets all three kids together, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, awesome. I gotta get a group picture of you guys later.
But anyhow, no, I did not get it fixed. What are you? I told them to call me Monday morning or come early Monday morning, and the girl says I'll give them.
What's early? Thank God I don't have Papa. Yeah, after the forecast and after the weather we had yesterday.
Yeah, we're right across that. We were coming down that road and around that corner to the shopping center. Like, feeling sentimental. And next to it, we cut across the living street. We're back in that neighborhood. So, yeah, and it's a circle, too. So, like, not a lot of numbers. We never thought we'd come down and yeah. So, we had no comfort in the 40 years. 60 years old is going to be. It does. I mean, we've got a 50th wedding anniversary party coming up. That's, oh my God, here we go, another whole level. We've done the 40th, we've done the 60th birthdays, you know, we're doing the retirement parties. Now we're hitting the 50th wedding anniversary. When everybody else is like, my friends, I'm proud to hang with. 8 to 10. They're already 67, 68, 70. Well, they took 5% absolutely freaked me out. So what did I do last month? I applied for Social Security. You gotta do it at the right time. Exactly 3 months before. It doesn't have to be exactly 3 months before, but that would happen to be the day. Because we've been putting it off. I said, okay, 3 months today, we're going to, I'm 61 and 3/4 today, so let's just do it.
Going to come, but it's come from the store. She went to Michigan with her friend for
See, we got everybody here. See, this is not a sister, this is somebody else. Who are you?
I'm her daughter.
Okay, well, I've never met you before.
I'm Sarah.
Hello, Sarah. How are you doing? I know your mom real well.
I look like Rose.
Yep. You know what? She's here.
Matthew and Andrew.
Wow. You've been busy since I saw you last time.
Well, she had beautiful babies. You were the prettiest.
Yeah.
Wasn't she?
You look like a clone. I'm telling you. You do.
The prettiest.
Anybody ever said you're a clone? Well, you are. So you're going to Florida?
We're talking in the next couple of years, moving down there.
I lived there for about 11 years.
Yeah.
I lived in Pensacola. I got assigned to Key West. I hated that place. And then I really like Clearwater area.
Yeah, my sister's in Pensacola now.
You know what's funny is when we used to all come out here from Kansas, like 40 years ago, your mom was doing this same thing. I kid you not.
It doesn't run in the family.
No, it doesn't. Hey.
Hey, there we go.
There we go. How about that? If we could only get mom over here too. That's okay. We'll catch you all later.
Whatever it is, roll your number.
Got my birthday.
Whoever you match is good. That's who you partner with.
That's the challenge.
Somebody else's. Well, 15.
Oh, wait a minute, he was 16. Oh, 15.
Well, draw 5.
Hey Sharon, you gotta come draw a number, babe.
12.
12.
12. All right.
Idiot. Yes, sir. Sure. John, maybe I'm wrong. All right. I'm going.
I was moving my car. That's what
I can It is. Guess we're going to get a mess.
1. I got a 15.
Give me the first time.
10. 14. 14, 5. 14, man.
Who's left? He's not in.
Have you drawn a number, babe? Nobody? What number?
Who's in? Who signed up and didn't draw a number, Mike?
Who's got number 1?
And we have a.
Well, I got his best side now.
Two sisters. Put some pressure on you, Jonathan. They got their 11, so they beat us.
All right, ready?
It's up.
All right.
There you go.
Good game. Good game.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
All right. You'll be hearing from my agent.
Yeah. Talk to your agent. That's what I always tell them.
You'll be hearing from my agent.
Don't drag now, boys.
Oh!
You guys won. You guys got 2 points. You got 21. It's 21 to 14.
21 to 14.
Did everybody sign? Way to go, Mark. Way to go, Sarah. Kenny and Matthew.
What?
Well, let's go.
That's an
You're
upset.
we're ready, right?
We're ready.
Let's go. Let's go, guys.
You got to win this one.
You better get your partner.
Watch Birdie. She's hot. All right, baby.
Well, that's over.
Ladies and gentlemen, in August 2018, the mid-month review for August 2018 actually went back to July 15th, as I said. I went back and saw a lot of friends in Kansas, a lot of places in Kansas, including the gravesite of my mother, brother, and father. And I really can't separate August from funerals very much, because my dad did die in late July, but was buried in August on the 3rd. My mother was buried on, or died on August 11th. Or August 14th, I should say, and my brother died on August 11th. So, and he was only 11. He's my older brother, so I'm really not the oldest. Long story behind that, I met Taylor. She's a really good kid, about 23 years old, with HD. I'm really going to take care of that girl as best as I can. She has HD, which means she'll probably die by 30. A 50% chance she'll pass it on to her kids. I really made it a point to meet her, and I'm so glad I did. And she's actually the girl in the avatars that you see for John Sullivan, Sullivan's Projects Personal, I think I call it. But anyway, it's my personal page, and really good kid. I still have baby angel Jazz on the Sullivan's Projects, but I don't know how long that's going to last. Her aunt really doesn't want anything to do with me, or with me to do with anything with Jazz or her family. It was just a misunderstanding of something I said on Facebook, but it happens, and it's really sad because I was really one of their best supporters. But all the best to Evelyn, Jazz, Chris, and the mother, and the mother. It's just a sad situation. But I'm always interested in helping out the HD patients, and it looks like Taylor is my new cause celeb. Now, of course, her husband chickened out, and I don't know how old he is, but after having 3 kids, maybe 4, I don't know, 3 or 4, he bailed out on her, left her by herself. She has no income until at least, I think, April or so. She'll get her disability determination in January. I'm sure she's going to get it, but it's really hard to just watch this stuff happen. But HD is such a sad disease. Unlike cancer, which I have, there's actually aggressive treatment available for cancer, but there's currently no medical science that can reverse or even halt HD. But there are some promising trials going on over in England, so hopefully by the time Taylor gets to be 25 or so, which is in just 2 years, they'll have something that can stop and turn this around for her. She really deserves it. She's a great kid. She's a great mom. And the world could be so cold sometime. But anyway, on to August.